I want to talk about some people are finding it hard. They don't believe they're doing the vacuums correctly. Now, in the beginning, it's a bit hard because maybe we don't feel that we're actually working from the diaphragm. Maybe we feel that we're actually just pulling our abs in instead of doing the actual vacuum from the diaphragm, right? How do you know if you're actually working with your diaphragm in the beginning? And one of the big secrets that you can do to test yourself and to know that you are actually doing in a vacuum is when you're standing in a mirror and you do a vacuum, look at what's happening with your neck. Okay, I have the camera this low and I'm in a bit of a uncomfortable position because I'm actually going to show you a couple of vacuums. So I'm trying to get the focus on where my abs are going to be, right? So I'm going to show you a vacuum here and then look at what's happening in my upper shoulders and in my neck, okay, especially this area. And that's how you know you're actually doing the vacuum correctly, because the vacuum connects everything and everything is being sucked in, basically. Okay. That's what happens. Everything sucks in. Literally, okay? So this is normal. Not going to do it again. Breathing in, you can see it goes in. Well, that's how it happens. This is breathing out. Now vacuum. I'm just moving my hands around so you can actually see it's not because of the hand placement that that's happening. So you can try that and test it. The other thing is, you can actually, once you start getting to the third month of regularly practicing, now by regularly practicing vacuums, I would say 2 to 3 times a week, giving some resting days. And now I'm talking about a 40-minute session, okay? 30 to 40-minute session minimum. By the third week, you're going to start feeling activation in your lower back. Did you see that line? I was showing you the line. The line that it creates here. It's because it's literally pulling everything up, and you can see it in your lower back as well, okay? And that's how you know. You can see your rib cage is actually, the lines in your rib cage are starting to stand out, because what happens when we do a vacuum is not only the suction of the diaphragm moving up, but the rib cage trying to expand. And that's what we're trying to, we're actually trying to open the rib cage. Now, when I teach in the beginning, in the initiation, many times I would tell my students not to do a vacuum, but to open your rib cage, because that is when the vacuum actually starts happening. And when you can actually start feeling, when you get to level 3, you can actually start feeling how your hips, the muscles, the oblique muscles are actually being pulled. You're getting a stretch down there, and your lower back, you're getting a stretch down there. And so when you do feel a pull, it's very normal, and you are doing the vacuum. So that's another thing of how you can see that you're actually doing a vacuum correctly. The other thing to know that you're doing a vacuum correctly is looking at what's happening into your abs. When you can actually see the abs like being sucked into your rib cage, the easiest thing is to stand forward. And you can see the abs completely. There's no other explanation for it. I was trying to think of what other words can I use. It was being sucked in, literally. Okay, that's the third part, is actually the visual, how you see it's happening. Sometimes when we're standing or when we're applying pressure, it might not be that much. Why? Because it's harder. Now the more we practice, the easier it's going to get and the deeper you're going to get that vacuum. Everybody advances, but it is quite a slow process for some people. If you have a lot of emotional baggage that you're carrying around, if you're going through maybe some emotional stage in your life, or maybe you're training very hard, it might be a little bit harder because you're not relaxing the abs. Now, when we get to a certain point where we're actually starting to activate abs and vacuums at the same time, these are where the yoga methods come into, and I love them. They are hard. They are not easy, okay? It took me half a year to see something, to feel something, and I know of people that actually start activating it. One way of doing it is just to actually fluctuate your diaphragm. While you are holding the diaphragm, you can let go and pump it, like kind of pump it. It's good. It's not bad. It is good because you are realizing what your body is capable of doing and your diaphragm. So I'm going to show you one where I'm actually literally, and this is an amazing release. Like if you feel sad, this is really a good way to start feeling positive. So I'm going to start just pumping it. Okay, what I was doing is I was literally just pushing out my stomach. While I was holding the ab, I would relax the suction and push the stomach out, right? And that's the beginning of the ab, where the abdominal muscle starts activating. Then from here, you can start concentrating on actually trying to get one ab working and then the other ab working. Now we're moving into naulis. Okay, a nauli is actually where you activate the muscle while you're doing the vacuum. For me to understand and for me to explain it, that's the best way I would explain it. And this is really good because it massages your intestines a lot more than just doing the normal vacuum. The vacuum does do it. But this kind of helps, especially with bowel movement, and it starts connecting the inner and outer core. Now, the inner core, that's what I name doing the Uddiyana Bandha, doing the vacuum. Vacuum is an Uddiyana Bandha. That is the actual diaphragm lifting up and taking everything with it and holding it up there, like the suction I was just showing you now. Okay? So now the nauli is where we start connecting the inner and the outer core. Okay? Okay, so once you start getting that right, you can move it a little bit faster to get the activation going a little bit more. And this is where a lot of energy starts shifting. And for me, it's a very big recommendation that I would give when you have seasons changing. You would have in springtime and autumn, we get a little bit of a slump. So this is a good way to shift your energy into positive energy. Okay, it feels in the beginning, you don't know if you're doing it right, just try one and then try the other, and then from there you start playing around, okay? One of the biggest secrets I would say when starting to do naulis for me was to let your hips do what it wants to do. It wants to move. just let it move. Just concentrate on trying to activate that muscle. Just do one. If you do one on one side 5 times, and then you do the other one, it's about trying, and that's when the activation of the muscle starts happening. And for me personally, there was a lot of emotional calmness, a lot of happiness, a lot of shifting in my energy that happened, and also the muscles, the connection for the lower abs. Wow, that was really good. Not to mention the inflammatory action it took place for me personally. It took a lot of people that suffer from gas problems. That gets rid of that. Now it could be from eating too much fiber. It could be because you were eating lentils. Who cares? We go through stages that the body just has a lot of gas. Maybe you just do a lot of sports and you're swallowing a lot of air with your liquids. That can happen because you're very thirsty. It doesn't matter. Or you take in a lot of gassy liquids, which is very bad for the body. But that body needs to do something. It needs help. And this is a good way to help your body control the gas problem as well. All right. So I hope this was helpful. If you want to subscribe, there's an icon here. Just click on the icon and then that will subscribe you. And then I have another one up there. That's another tutorial or maybe a session that you can try out. If you need any information or you'd like something else that that you want me to put up, let me know in comments and I'll get back to you. Bye!